Here at Daytona, we have a perfect day to kickstart a new series of Winston Cup racing. And today, it's NASCAR's All-Star Race, the 14 fastest of 1996 in two 10-lap sprints for $370,000. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing your All-Star lineup for the 19th annual Busch Clash. Drawing 14th and last position, the 1995 Winston Cup champion, number 24, Jeff Gordon. Starting 13th, rookie Clash starter from Owensboro, Kentucky, number 37, Jeremy Mayfield. 12th on the grid, his second Clash, number 22, from South Boston, Virginia, Ward Burton. 11th, number 25, rookie Clash starter from Newburgh, Maine, Ricky Craven. Selecting 10th, number 16, from Franklin, Wisconsin, Ted Musgrave. Starting 9th, six-time Clash winner, seven-time Winston Cup champion, number 3, Dale Earnhardt. Eighth position, rookie Clash driver, number 99, Jeff Burton. Picking 7th, 1991 Daytona 500-mile champion, native of Salinas, California, number 28, Ernie Irvin. Drawing 6, rookie Clash starter, number 30, from Grand Rapids, Michigan, Johnny Benson. 5th place, his third Busch Clash start, from Corpus Christi, Texas, number 18, Bobby Labonte. 4th position, two-time and defending Daytona 500-mile champion, defending Clash champion, number 88, Dale Jarrett. 3rd position, 1989 Winston Cup champion, from St. Louis, Missouri, number 2, Rusty Wallace. Outside of row 1, 18-time Winston Cup winner, number 6, from Batesville, Arkansas, Mark Martin. And on the pole, the 1985 Busch Clash winner, the 1984 and defending Winston Cup champion, number 5, Texas, Terry Labonte. Ladies and gentlemen, your starting field for the 1997 Busch Clash. Drivers, to your cars. About 10 miles per hour down the backstretch. The man everyone is talking about, as always in this race, is starting 9th, and he's standing by with Dick Bergen right now.
Well, it's a go-fast kind of race, and this is a go-fast kind of driver, Dale Earnhardt. He's made this show 10 times. He has won it 6 of the 10. How about it, Dale? You ready to go get him?
Not quite, but I'm getting buckled up here.
Is there any strategy for this event other than running flat out?
You're right, flat out.
Well, that's the way he's going to have to run it. He's got a great horse to run it in, Ken Squire. This is the same car that finished 2nd in last year's Daytona 500.
The Duke speaks. The man in black, the Intimidator, ready to give it a go here today. Hello, everyone, and nice to have you with us at Speed Weeks coming up, the 125, the 300, the 500, all on CBS this year, and joining us once again to do all of that the two-time Winston Cup champion, Ned Jarrett. Let's talk about this race for just a moment.
Well, to get into, Ken, you had to win a pole position during the 1996 NASCAR Winston Cup season. 14 drivers did that, but one of them was not eligible for the Busch Clash. Bobby Hamilton actually won 2 poles during the season, but Richard Petty, his car owner, chose not to carry the Busch decal on his race car. And that's a family thing, the choice of his own to make, and he's in the garage today. So with him out of it, there were 13 of the pole winners that's in the race, and then there's a wild card entry, and that is Rusty Wallace coming from the second round fastest qualifiers. It's a 2-segment race. They run 10 laps flat out, and then they stop. They can change tires, service the cars, and then they run 10 more laps with an inverted start, and that's where it really gets exciting. And the caution laps do not count in this race, and they're running for a purse of $370,000.
I have to tell you, Richard Petty, 59 years of age, was saying that the reason that he was not in this race was because he'd have trouble with his mother Elizabeth if he ever ran that kind of a decal. Remember 1981? Well, if you were here, you saw a great finish. Right to the line came Benny Parsons, and the guy just barely in front of him, the loser the year before, was the winner that year. And he's been in 12 of these clashes. It's a delight to have Darrell Waltrip join us.
Yeah, thank you, Ken, very much.
Let's talk
a great race. Yeah, it's a great race. The first strategy is to have that attitude that Earnhardt just had. Man, somebody ticked him off before they even dropped the green flag. So attitude is part of it. Everybody's got to be in this race. They do things to the cars a little different. They tape the grills up where the cars, I mean, you're going to melt this thing down. It's 2 5-lap qualifying runs if you want to look at it that way. They're going to melt them down. You got to hold it wide open at all costs. And you want to lose the first segment so you can start in the front and win the second segment.
But the nature of a race driver is to pass everybody they possibly can. They want to go to the front if they can. You take Jeff Gordon, starting back there in 14th position. I got to feel that he wants to check his car out, see if he can pass somebody, and he'll be able to find that out in the first couple of laps. And then if it don't work too good for him, then he can just stay back there and start up front in the second race.
Yeah, everybody's got to be in the gate. The spotter's got to be on his toes. We got a short race here. Everybody's got to be sharp. The crew chief's got to be helping the driver. The driver's got to have that game face on. This is an exciting race. They kind of just feel each other out for the first 10 laps. They may just kind of rub each other in that first 10 laps. Look out in the second 10, though. That's when you better wake up Leroy.
And Ken, the cars are set up a little different for this race than they are for the Daytona 500 because of the shortness of it.
So we're just about down to it, ready to get that command to fire this one up and get the 1997 Winston Cup season underway with this, the Busch Clash. Let's go trackside.
Today's Grand Marshal, the Regional Director of Public Supermarkets, Mr. Ralph Phillips.
Gentlemen, start your engine.
The Sweet Thunder rolls once again over Daytona. We'll be back with a start in just a moment. Roll out Daytona. Back of the field getting organized. Different colors on that number 24.
Yeah, that's his new paint job. If that other car was a rainbow, this must be a thunderstorm here. It's a dark cloud coming at you.
Just for this race. Race analysis here, Ned.
Well, there are 14 cars starting the race. 10 laps this first segment, 25 miles, and the winner can take home $30,000. Bill Elliott ran over 197 miles an hour to win this race back in 1987. Of course, that was before the days of the restrictor plates.
Track analysis, Darrell?
Yeah, what we got here is that this track is 31 degrees through the corners. Pretty high bank. Only Talladega is higher. And then as we move off the corner, that's off turn 2 there, and you move down the straightaway, or into the tri-oval actually. The tri-oval is 18 degrees, and it doesn't drive that way. It did fit. The tri-oval feels fairly flat, so not a real big transition out of the tri-oval onto the short straightaways, which are banked 6 degrees, just like the back straightaway is. But let me tell you, when you come off that back straightaway 6 degrees into that 31-degree banking, that, my friend, is a real ride with a lot of downforce.
And on this 2.5-mile track, the car that seems to cut the best and have the most power coming off that number 2 turn has been the number 88 of Jarrett, who's driving the same car in which he won this race a year ago. Manufacturers breakdown for this race: 7 Fords, 4 Chevrolets, 3 Pontiacs, ready for the go.
Yeah, it takes a lot of horsepower to do what he does over there, and everybody knows that he's got the horsepower. If he can get himself in a position, he should be a real favorite in this race.
Take a look at the in-cars here. You're riding with Jeff Gordon, shotgun position, last on the field, 14th.
That looks like a long way to the front, doesn't it?
Ricky Craven starts 11th, pride of New England in the Budweiser, number 25. Ernie Irvin's number 28. He'll start 7th today, right in the middle of this flock. And then there's last year's winner, Jarrett, number 88, outside of that second row.
You got to tell yourself it's a 10-lap race. It's 10 laps to go in the Daytona 500, and you got to have at it right now if you're going to win the thing.
Good analogy. Okay, they get
one lap.
You know, that's where I think Earnhardt has a big advantage. He can think like that. And the other guys are kind of, like I said, the first 10 laps, they kind of feel each other out. Excuse me, pardon me, can I get in here? He doesn't feel that way.
The starting order for the second segment of the Busch Clash, inverted from how they finished in segment 1. We wondered how the drivers would approach this first segment.
I'll try to maneuver around, see what my car can do by itself or you know, around other cars the first 10 lap segment, and then after that, you know, that's when my strategy starts coming in. If I can't win the first segment, then I think that, you know, I'm going to try to be somewhere mid-pack so that it's a little bit easier to try to get to the front for the second segment.
A lot of guys, they say if you lag back in the first segment and you end up starting in the front, it's better. But, I mean, most of the guys know it's not, because just about the time you get to the first corner, you'll get drafted by in the back straightaway.
I race for every position because that's what I do. So, you know, we're going to try to lead anything we can or be as high up in the finishing order as we can, just because the fans expect that and deserve, you know, that.
Mark Martin, his 10th appearance in the Clash. 3 drivers have been here for 11 previous runs. They include Terry Labonte and Rusty Wallace in this one as we get set, and of course Earnhardt coming to green this time by.
Well, they get the engines revved up and get ready to go when the pace car pulls off the track coming off of turn 4.
Yeah, we got a new pace car driver.
And Buster Otten is taking over for the late Elmo Langley, 2-time Winston Cup winner, who died of a heart attack while we were in Japan at the end of the year.
I think in those pieces we just saw, some drivers drive with their heart, some drivers drive with their head, some drivers drive for the mighty dollar. That's what we got here.
Out of 4.
I'd like to have a heart monitor on those guys right now, because mine's beating 900 miles an hour.
Pace car is in. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to 1997 Winston Cup style.
Boy, big move for Labonte. He got a great start. That may have been set up. Him and Mark may have decided to do that.
I think Mark jumped right down behind him as soon as Labonte jumped out in front.
Ernie Irvin tries for the inside 3 wide into 1 and busts his way through. Coming up to speed. They won't attain full speed till about turn 3. Here's Earnhardt looking on the inside of Bobby Labonte. 3 wide.
That's the Earnhardt trademark. Coming off of that second turn, he got the draft. And here he goes, passing him. Bobby Labonte going backwards, Earnhardt going forwards.
Yeah, Labonte, I watched him in practice. That Pontiac is not as fast as that Chevrolet was last year. They've still got some work to do.
Down they come to complete lap number 1. Terry Labonte out in front, hanging right on the rear bumper. It's the number 6, the colors of Mark Martin, and right with him comes Rusty Wallace in the number 2. So as you stack them up at the present time, it's Chevy and a couple of Fords.
I'm pretty disappointed. Earnhardt, he ain't going nowhere. He's kind of hung up right where he started. And those 4 guys out front are just booking on, so that's big.
Yeah, they're hooked up in single file out there while the others race for position back there, and they're just pulling away.
Yeah, they won't get away. There's no way you can get away. As soon as these guys back here bunched up, get lined up, they'll catch them back. But I'm surprised Earnhardt couldn't go any further up than he did.
Well, he doesn't really have any room there now, Darrell. There's not much of a place for him to go.
No, it's not. He bumper to bumper, as we say. Door handle to door handle.
Coming around a complete lap number 2.
Oh, here he goes. He's looking down on Ernie there.
He decides that might not be the place to do that, so he backs off.
Oh, here. Oh, man. Now,
backs off and got past.
You know something? That's exactly what happened. And
that's a replay of last year. When he
you don't think Earnhardt's turned into the strategist here, do you?
Well,
can't believe it.
Maybe he
this is not what we would expect from him, I know.
186.6 that last lap.
Terry Labonte leading. First time since 85 he's led in the Clash.
And you heard him say in the opening, Ken, they changed motors, they changed the chassis, they've made a lot of changes. Look like it's working.
The 1985 winner of the event comes down out of turn 4. Leading once again, Mark Martin is in second, Wallace is in third, Dale Jarrett up to 4th. Keep your eye on that 4th place car, number 88.
Picked up to 187.7 on the last lap.
You know, and that's down a couple of miles an hour over qualifying speed. So, you know, they're not setting a blistering pace by any means.
Take a look at this. Craven just picked up 2 spots as he moved under Ernie Irvin. Challenges Ward Burton in the 22 to Dick Berggren.
Larry McReynolds is Earnhardt's new crew chief this year. So far, Earnhardt hasn't said a word to McReynolds, who is just standing here in the pits watching television, shaking his head. He said this was not the plan. They did want to go to the front. They don't know what's wrong with the car. They won't let him do that, though.
Boy, did you see Ernie Irvin? He was 3 wide down on the apron and showed a little maturity there. He backed off.
That was a smart move to back off because it backed in big trouble.
Craven got left out of the draft and slid back.
Irvin has a fast race car. Here he goes again. He's going to make it 3 wide into 1. He has a run. He might make it work this time.
Yeah, he's got the position this time, Ned, and there he goes. He's got a fast car, and he'll help the guys up there in front of him if he catches them.
14 cars starting, 16 a year ago. Good field. 1 wild card, Rusty Wallace, for the 3rd time in his career, the wild card selection where they'd have a drawing from the blimp.
Don't look now, but we're coming up on halfway.
Yeah, this one gets your blood going.
It really does. And you know, that surprises me, the 4 cars that are up front like they are. I knew Terry starting on the pole had you know, that's a good place to start, but I didn't know if he could stay there or not.